What a swap deal we performed in the last episode, but if I could swap that performance for a performance on the field, I'd be much happier.
Grimsby Town have caught a whopper. Look what it means to the people of this town.
As yes people, probably a little bit dramatic, but as you can see we took a defeat at the end of last episode. Spoiler alert obviously, but you should have seen that as we lost to Chelsea. Manchester City now on top in the league, but still we're in 5th. Potentially chasing Champions League football, and the signing that we made was Jadon Sancho. 31-year-old, yes. But he's got a storyline to his career. He's got the playstyles, he's got the skill moves. We sold another left midfielder, and we did get rid of a CDM in the swap deal, giving us 49 million, and guess what day it is today? It's not just Friday, it is deadline day, 10 hours left, a bidding for Sauda, which I am always rejecting. I can't remember rejecting Real Madrid. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I am going to reject Monaco with a swap deal now for Jack Rutherford. And this is 17.7 million plus Claudio Echeverri, who is higher rated and it's more money. Oh my days, this is some offer. However, I'm going to delegate. I don't care about Echeverri. I want 100 million. If we're ever going to sell our youngster captain, that's what it requires. As a loan offer for Akintola, that's the biggest rejection ever. And Rutherford was rejected by Manchester City. Surprised by that, as now we've got 5 hours left, and I'm not on about outgoings. I want to bring in an incoming. We've got the experience of Sander Berg, and this shortlist is just fully defensive midfielders. With Freddie Potts, a cheap option, not going to actually go for him. Hinselwood the same, because they're at their boyhood clubs. Sidney Peck the same. I've got a few English lads on there at the bottom, just because we are an English club and need that experience in the Prem. Ogachukwu has a little bit. Yama Luik the same. We've got Varela. The play styles and everything on the 30-year-old looks brilliant, as in the back of my mind, I want to save some money for future months. And do we actually go for a Spaniard here? In John Goroxta. I'm probably butchering that name, but he looks like if we do panic and need another centre-back, he could fit in that role. He's already better than Omarege, but I don't want to offer too much. Let's offer 30. Give us money for January still, if we need to spend then. But 36.9 is too much. I'm not letting go of all our budgets, so 32. 34. Okay, we're getting there. 34 on the nose. No sell-on clause. And this is the defensive midfielder we desperately needed at Grimsby Town. An 83 rated going into the team, upping our 80 overalls to 8 now at the club. We started last season with only the one in Rutherford. That's a huge signing, is that? As here we go, Premier League at Blundell Park. We're taking on Crystal Palace. The Eagles are soaring at the minute, and we were soaring apart from that kick clash and conceding in the last minute to Chelsea, so we need to win. And these have Adam Wharton in their team, another midfielder from England I didn't look at when looking for the DMs. I looked at Elliot Anderson, still at Nottingham Forest, but way too expensive at an 87 overall. And Caio Eduardo is playing. Good interception by the new man. That's what we want in Goroxtia, as that's a good ball around the corner into Rutherford. Rutherford onto Regular, who does find him again. Could he get a goal here after pinning his future down to Grimsby? Penders with a good stop. Or he actually hasn't pinned down his future. He just didn't get allowed to move to Manchester City, as that was a very decent corner. But no one just at the front post. I should have tried the usual. Free kick to Palace for some reason or the other. Fair enough, as that's a header. Lepage, he came on the journey with us from the Championship. One of the first signings at that level. Goroxtia. Just passing into Jadon Sancho. If you would have asked me at the start of the season if we'd had 2 players of that quality, I wouldn't have believed you, but they're not showing it to the maximum. At least Jadon Sancho is, and I expect better from him. And a player trying to revive his career. Of course, we have Mehmeti on the bench, Juicer, Dara Burns, and Kakuri, 2 of our OGs, the only OGs left, I think. And I hope they stay the entire save, but they've got to keep on growing alongside the others in the squad. As Rutherford running through the middle, he's overstepped it into Mourinho. Hogsberg wins the header. I think it's Hersberg now, not Hosberg. Let me know again in the comments if I'm saying that wrong, as Goroxtia had some space. He gives it into Rutherford, who he trusts more, to dribble Noah Kene with a turn. We're just playing this around, trying to force a gap at Crystal Palace's expense. But they are sitting so far deep, it is unreal. Unless Regular gets a move on here. Rutherford goes to try and get through their defence. It falls to Jadon Sancho. Gardner round the corner. Regular was stretching. A rather poor ball from Cam as we're trying to get the substitutions going. And Crystal Palace, I think that's Caio Eduardo holding the ball up there. That is a bad lunge in by Noah Kene into Yeremy Pino. I know they rejected a lot of offers for him on deadline day. Rutherford, what are you doing? Crystal Palace here could try and rob us at Blundell Park. A ball towards the edge of the box. Marcel Ruiz, the Mexican, into Eduardo! I don't believe it. The ex-player at Blundell Park with 3 goals in 4 games might have made us lose 2 in a row. How very sad. How very sad. We started the season off so well with West Ham next to I Think I Can Sim, but if we do, and if we lose to the Irons, we could be done as we've got so many games. Manchester United twice this month. With a month after that, we've got Arsenal, Middlesbrough and Norwich, a chance for results, and then a month which is all over the place, literally stretching from left to right. Anyway, onto the Irons, and I might sim the cup game against United, as there we go, back on form, Kene away at the Irons, with it followed up by a penalty loss against Manchester United. Genuinely being honest though, I did weaken the squad up, as Jadon Sancho wasn't at Old Trafford, but he is at Blundell Park against the Red Devils twice in a week, and I want to play the league games because I think we're in with a shout of Europe this season if we just get playing. They're trying the Enrique tactic. Wonder if he's actually in charge at United. Do need to check the manager roundabout or merry-go-round to see how it's changed, as Cameron Gardner up to an 80 now. Jadon Sancho still at that 81 he joined us at. And this is skillful from the ex-Manchester United man. Look at that. Look at that showboating. He scored against his ex-club Chelsea in the league in the last episode, but he'll want Man United more so than Chelsea with how obviously it's gone down there, as Cameron Gardner over the top looking for Regular, who is causing me troubles with his contract. He's on a 5-year deal, but he does want loads more money as Rutherford goes for the shot. I wonder if Omarege is playing for them. I actually haven't seen him, didn't look at the team sheet, as here goes Dan Gore with a chance to score. A huge one, I may add, as Goroxter get running. We're going to give it into Rutherford here. Rutherford could have looked for Cameron Gardner, but Cameron Gardner can look. Maybe should have gone straight to Rutherford, but he looks over the top. And here goes Cam. It just hit Sene Lemons, but both teams failed to score them, as Goroxter into Jadon Sancho. Come on, Jadon. You started with a bit of promise. Gone back into the shell. He probably was in with United themselves, as that's a good move. Daniel Gore. Keep the pressure up. Reece James. It's a Chelsea man. I think. Maybe I didn't read that right. Here goes Brian and Burmo. And Burmo's blistered us for pace. Looking in the middle, Noah Kene, who is playing very well with the new partner in Goroxter, who sits further back. And that is a killer ball from Rutherford, and very poor from Gomez Rodriguez. And now it's Manchester United's turn. Fabio Vieira. Gomez, you're my best friend. What a stop that is. And Simigan wide of the post. And Sancho has come off just because I thought he might have been playing into that narrative a little bit too much of him scoring. Let's just Jusser on as Cameron Gardner. He netted twice against Man United in the real life game. Both were disallowed, but he gets one allowed here with a sweet turn to hopefully have Manchester United all at sea on the banks of the Humber. Actually, the commentary that went down. In real life, I remember watching the replay after being at the game and just hearing that. Tingles even thinking about it. Just don't do a Chelsea and concede. We need to have this bragging right over United again after them beating us in the cup. Let's hold on to one of our classic 1-0 wins, just beaten by Palace with 1, and Rodriguez goes out wide into Juiceron. Juiceron needs to get back inside. He's due a goal anytime in game. Could it be now? No, but I think we do get a penalty kick. And if only we had Sanchez. Do I give it to Cameron Gardner? Yeah, I was going to give it to Rutherford because of the comments. But with 47 penalties, Cameron Gardner does bury it and gets his second goal of the game as we beat Man United in the revenge game. Fantastic winners. Straight after, though, actually getting a swap deal for Yassine Ayari, Marcel Regular. He's a lot higher rated. But why the heck would we do that when we've got John Goroxtia, who played fantastic to get Grimsby Town back in the top 4 as chairman interference? Not happy with the tactics? I don't understand that one bit. So the only change I'm making is having ball-playing defenders because I feel confident in Valu, Hersberg and Lepage to play out from the back, same as Gomez up to an 86. Has to be one of the best keepers in the game as we beat Norwich 4-1. Sancho with a first-minute goal and Cameron Gardner again. Having 4 goals out of 9 games, the OG player. With Middlesbrough a clean sheet despite 10 men, Regular suspended for that one, which isn't good, but what is good is the fact we've got Arsenal, which is 2nd versus 3rd, a huge game, potentially in the title race. However, City are faultless. 8 straight wins they have. We've got 6 and only 2 losses, which is okay. But do you know what isn't okay? The fact I haven't sent a scout out to South Africa yet. We're looking for a centre-back, because we always need centre-backs. And this is from a comment, which I want you guys to leave below, of more nations. And whilst you're down there, please subscribe. Helps his second channel really grow, and this is a huge game. We've got 2 OGs in the lineup now, because Dara Burns makes his Grimsby Town starting 11 again. That used to be predominantly his in League One days. He used to be the top scorer, but now Arsenal might be a trickier test for him. Then again, he has beat United in real life. Jadon Sancho, no, we're not trying that again. Terrible move as Mahmoud into Aljan. Need to get a cross to make a tackle. Alexandra Isak. No tackle there. Bukayo Saka gets away. And Isak, goalkeeper comes. Kene clears. Rutherford doesn't even face the ball when it comes back out. But Jadon Sancho here into Rutherford. Can't put the ball back across. We're lacking composure. Knowing this is a big game, but it's only 8 games in. We shouldn't be all too disheartened if we lose, because it looks like Arsenal really going to get on top here. We've beaten them before and drawn before, not beaten in the Prem by them so far as Isak on the turn. Dara Burns even fails to clear. If we see this out to half-time, I will be shocked as Mosquera down into Gomez. Just taking the ball with ease, and Rodriguez Gomez with a ball over the top, received from Cameron Gardner, and the counter-attack of dreams. There has been nothing to say in terms of us in this first half, but at the end of it, in the beautiful kit, Rodriguez on a ball from over the top has us winning going into the second half. Lepage with a turnout into Hersberg. Groxtia, what a ball through. Rutherford, we need to get running and look at the space for Dara Burns. If he scored, I'd be delighted. Him and Cameron Gardner with a link-up from day one. Almost. When our backs up are against the wall, Mehmeti hasn't actually played in ages despite scoring a lot last season. Maybe he needs to come on as well. Change the strikers up. Cameron Gardner falls. No foul given. Should have scored. As I'm hitting Arsenal with the double change. Jadon Sancho staying on. I want that rating increase from him. I want the performance increase as Noah Kene on the edge of the box into Mehmeti. He scored loads last season. Lepage, he doesn't have that balance to get away as a defender in the box. He's usually defending in the box as Mahmoud tries to score like we did. Simple ball over the top, and now they might have cost themselves because Rutherford running on here. A ball through onto Mehmeti. He's onside, which I didn't think he was. Bottom bins. 2-0 at the Emirates. The title charge could actually be on here. What am I watching from this Grimsby Town team? Phenomenal. And we just need to try and maybe get another one. I thought we were getting hammered after the first few minutes, but they can't deal with the ball over the top. It is Mehmeti again. Why am I not playing this man more? In the 73rd minute, Mehdi Mehmeti nets his second against Arsenal in the 2v3 game. Chests it down. Mosquera, no chance. And even under the goalkeeper. Some player he is, as look at that solid month. Officially back on track, only beaten by Palace and Chelsea. With our strikers scoring now, Mehmeti and Cameron Gardner both 80. Kicking Gomez Rodriguez out the side for this next sim, which hopefully isn't a bad move. Oh my days. Right, we were due a draw in our 10th game of the Premier League season. We take one, and that's fine, as carefree improvements. The board offers a carryover to next season. That's very interesting, because obviously 12 million might not be enough for a January signing, depending on what we really want to do. Not got up to that decision point yet. We can obviously still sell players, as a lot want him regular. Back from that suspension, and Rodriguez Gomez goes back in, just in time for one of those normal Blundell Park 1-0 wins we always seem to get. And this is phenomenal news. The board are giving us extra carefree money to spend in January. £44 million! They want this Champions League reached in, and I do want it the same as our first trip to the Hill Dickey. Really nice stadium in game, I've got to say. And by first game here, I do mean in game. What is going on here? Right, I've got to keep in mind when it's blue kit against blue kit, it's probably not going to work as Jadon Sancho into Rutherford. Rutherford needs to find an angle. Let's just kill this game off straight away, shall we? Premier League needs to look at itself, and here we go. Cameron Gardner. That should be a handball by Gila. No. Rutherford was just too long on the ball. I've got to say, Rutherford, despite being that OG and highest rated, if we do get an offer for Echeverry again, I might consider it. This season has been a bit dodge, and Armstrong around the corner into Alcaraz. Big swap, or big swab of the ball for Gomez. He just had to roll on that, and when Gomez gets the ball, the other Gomez gets the ball very soon after with Cameron Gardner celebrating in the corner. He just loves scoring, does the Flying Scotsman. That is one goal in any other game. Oh, sorry, every other game, as McNeil into Dewsbury Hall around the corner. Oh dear, lunged in, not got there, so McNeil has to try and get round us. McNeil with the cross in, and Noah Kenne takes this ball away into Lepage. Regular. Tried to play a 1-2, but I saw the man was being marked, and that is better from Rutherford. Rutherford into Gomez. Jadon Sancho's due another goal. Can he keep running here? Jadon Sancho down low gets the goal. It's his third of his Premier League Grimsby campaign. I'm giving the man a chance, and boy, is he repaying me. I think he should be an 82 rated by now. I think he was like 2 weeks off, and that goal should accelerate it. Rutherford, that is a brilliant turn into Gomez. Rutherford, since I slated him, has started playing very well. 3-0. Everton backs to the wall, being slapped by the fish, and MWS as the manager going up against whoever that is. As let's check other managers. Before we actually do that, Manchester City were flawless. Now they are not anymore. We are top of the table here. Again, I'm going to say it again. I feel like I'm getting a nosebleed because of the altitude. And I was going to play Newcastle, but City are after that. Huge games coming up, but I'm not going to distract myself too much from that. I don't know any of these managers. Iraola's at Aston Villa. Conte obviously recognised. He's been at Chelsea some time. Rosini has moved from Palace to Forest. Espirito Santo. He's still at West Ham after all these goddamn years, but in the simulation before Man City, we lose 2-1, making this game crucial. But before all that, I'm going to check the academy to make me smile. If we get a decent player, and Leobang Pretorius looks just that. He'll get a loan deal and hopefully grow with a decent weak foot. As Jadon Sancho is up to an 82, the only problem for this game is a 15-day injury, so in comes Jusseron Vierne. Or Jusseron Vierne, a zoom in on Manchester, because it is at the Etihad. Thank you, Google Maps, for this. A snow day. Oh my days. Please don't clash in blue. Okay, it is a blue clash, but it is obvious who's on whose side for this vital game. And I've actually just made another change apart from Jusseron. I have gone with Mehmeti up front because I think we'll be counter-attacking. And we know how he did against Arsenal last time out when we had to do it. Cameron Gardner is on the bench because, yes, he scored a lot of goals, but he was fatigued. As Groxtia to Kene. We need to keep switching this around. There is Regular. Can he swing a ball in? Almost. Despite losing in the last game to Newcastle, I think a win right here for us would probably put us back top of the league. As Lepage, he's just signed a new contract deal and should have been sliding in for that one. Don't get why Savinho shot there. Really testing his luck. And Juiceron, no. Jadon Sancho, that's when we needed you for your close control. Haaland, oh my days, he's dummied us. And Erling Haaland goes through the middle. Absolutely worthless goal. Or not worthless, it's worth a lot. A pointless goal to concede because it was so goddamn preventable. Absolutely sent Högsberg. But it was down to this winger, Jusseron, who just took a heavy touch. And can't afford to do that again. Looking for him again. Can't get past them. With City definitely on top here. Goroxtia gets it from Juiceron. Or Juiceron, vice versa. Juiceron's going to just try and go slowly in this wintry weather to try and get a run on his defender here. He does finally do that. Cross the ball. Corner ball. With our tactic to use here. Rutherford into Rodriguez. Don't be offside. It was very close. Ball does find Noah Kene. Phil Foden, the man to read that though. And Haaland with the only goal. Of course it is the Norwegian because he's used to playing in weather like this when playing for the national side. And Goroxtia might have cost us there because Haaland, he has a run through the middle. Phil Foden trying to get across to block that one. And almost taking out Savinho. They're just waiting on our mistakes. Gomez, though, with a sweet turn. There's a run on there. Almost Mehmeti. Almost. There's a ball over the top into Ryan Cherky. We're going slowly to try and block it. That is never a handball. Genuinely isn't. I'm sure it isn't. He crosses. It's hit his chest. Surely that's hit his chest. And 90 penalties on Erling Haaland. Great stuff. Gomez. Should have stayed down the middle. 2-0 City. Time to make the change that I shouldn't have made in the first place. Cameron Gardner to actually come on. And we need an instant goal right here if we're even to get a draw, I'd say. Never mind winning. That's kind of out of the window, I'd say. We've been quite poor here against City, which is not the levels expected. Regular might fall to Gomez. No one reading it. And Savinho took out by Högsberg. Yellow card, but it's got the changes made. And Rutherford, you simply cannot mess up a pass back into the middle to get us away from some danger because that's what happens. We've been thrashing every team. We get to the title challenging game and Manchester City dominate the Mariners Grimsby Town.